Why are there two young girls like that walking all by themselves out here on this shitty ass area? It's part of town. I was like, hey man, these good looking women here, but the two real girls, man. The two real girls. Here's this guy. Here's this guy right here. Okay, I thought some pretty women down here was gonna say, hey, how you girls doing? You know, I was gonna wait till I got you in the car, because there's two, one for each of us. Really pretty women, and then I got closer and I'm like, fuck, they're like 12 years old. What the fuck are two 12-year-old girls doing out here? We're gonna find out though. We'll make sure they're not, if they're 21, then we're gonna, you know, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with them? Teach them how to tie knots and shit, you know, like to be a sailor. You want to be a sailor? Right here, over here, too. But I'm gonna be like, what are two young girls like you doing out here? Oh, you're 21 and 22? Well, shucks. You guys want to go to Shields with us? Maybe go to Lowe's and shop for some lumber? Yeah, these two right here. What do you think?
Very young.
Teenagers. Oh yeah, they ran away. What the hell are two young girls like that, 12 years old, doing out here right now by themselves? They ran away. They said, fuck it, man. But they don't have that look like they just ran away. They just kind of matter of fact, you know. One's carrying a fucking, what was she carrying? Like a thing of donuts or something?
Uh-huh.
They ain't even cold. They don't have no jackets. Maybe they're high. That's what it is. They're probably really high. And they say, hey, let's go for a walk. Well, we're not supposed to be walking. Well, fuck what my mom says. We're going anyway. Two white bitches. Who cares? You just don't see kids walking nowheres, especially two young, pretty girls like, well, I didn't know if they were pretty or not. You got really nice little butts, though, you know, for 11 teeners. Can we say that on ScrewTube? Hey, look at that guy there on that Vespa. A big old fucking Samoan guy on a Vespa. Now I've seen it all, you know? Now I've seen it all. Well, what do you know? We didn't even have to wait at Lincoln and Sparks Boulevard. What do you know? I hope I don't run into anybody because I can't see a goddamn thing with the sun in my eyes. I got a boil on my taint, you know, about the size of a fucking grape. That thing's ready to just blast off. You ever had a boil blow up in your taint right in the middle of, in a busy, you're in line at the grocery store, and you've been waiting at this fucking check stand. This bitch is telling the bitch at the check stand, no, the Corrado tortillas are on sale for $1.99. And the bitch at the cash register says, I don't give a fuck. Here, boop, take $1 off. She goes, but they're $1.99. She said, bitch, you hold up the fucking line. And I've been standing, and I was already stressed out. I had anxiety, and we got 12 of us waiting in this the only line that's open at 5 fucking in the afternoon at Safeway at Brunswick. And I'm waiting in line, and I feel this pop. It was a fucking boil in my taint. I didn't feel nothing. There was no pain involved. I knew what it was, because the fucking thing has been there for like a week and a half. And I knew it was gonna blow. I didn't know they blew up. I didn't have Google back then, so I didn't Google it. I didn't talk to God. I didn't talk to my fucking preacher, no doctor. I didn't have a doctor. I asked this bitch I was fucking banging, and she said, I don't know. Look and see a doctor. And I said, fuck it. And then I'm waiting in line, and the fucker went pop, and I could feel this blood. It just felt like a really soft paintball. Blood just went off in your underwears, in your BBDs. You ever had that happen to you? Mm-mm. No? You didn't have a taint blow up on you? Mm-mm. And I called the fucking walk-in clinic. I accidentally got a fucking muffler shop, and I go, hey man, you ever had a fucking taint blow up on it? And he said, nah, but I had a fucking carburetor on a 72 Monte Carlo vapor lock on me, and like, oh, wait a minute, this is the fucking muffler shop. He said, yeah, this is the fucking muffler shop. I said, brother, I got a fucking blown taint. He goes, you know what, now that you mention it, my uncle fucking Zoe had a blown taint. He was talking about, I didn't know what a fucking blown taint, what is it like? Like, described it to him, So, that's what happened. I we get on the freeway, I gotta pay attention now. Shit, man. Fucking goddamn responsibility after another. You know, I gotta fucking pay attention to the road. I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing at work so I won't fuck shit up like I did today. I gotta take a shit. I gotta take a piss every fucking 12 minutes. Fucking A, you know, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? You know? Oh shit, you're gonna get over there and you're gonna fucking dingleberry? Nah, I ain't letting you pass me, bitch. Fuck you. I just went from nerdy Long Islander to just fuck you, bitch. You in the Bronx now, bitch, motherfucker. You on fucking, you in Watts, baby. California! Oh, sorry. See, you do this to me. I was just fine until I picked you up. Damn.
You see that truck there?
Which one?
At work? That big rig backed in?
No, I didn't notice it.
This big rig's still backed in from this morning.
I cut this dude off. I was going to let him pass, but they were dilly-dally. I'm like, fuck you. I get stuck behind your dumbass. And then this other guy, this other rig, cut him off too. Him or her. I think it's got to be a woman driver. Got to be. If that's a man driving. There's this motherfucker at my work. I just assume everybody that works upstairs, all them fucking half of fags, except for a couple hot girls, they're just all idiots. I spent the first 3 years working at Tesco. Hey, how you doing? You see them? You just see them in common areas, the lobby and front door, hold the door. How's it going? And they just sound like you don't exist, or look at you weird and don't say a fucking word. And they're like, okay, 3 years of that shit. And I'm like, fuck you. Every time I see them, fuck you. Well, I'm not literally doing it, but that's what I'm thinking. As I'm looking right deep into their NPC fucking. Let's say deep in their souls and not souls. There's this one half of fag. I swear, this guy's so gay. You know me. I don't give a fuck what other people do, but I've seen him too many times. Never once has he ever bothered to say, you know. I will say, I give him a little bit. How you doing? He's out there smoking a cigarette. And in the spring and summertime, I'm doing 80 goddamn miles an hour. Spring and summertime, I'm like, he's just standing out there. He's just a stout little white guy, and he's smoking his little fucking gay ass little cigarettes. I swear to God, does he have a fanny pack? He looks like he needs a fanny pack. And you just look at him, and like I said, I got nothing against homos or fucking any whatever. He's to his own. And I don't give a fuck what his orientation or whatever is. But I just walked past him one time too many. Once in a great while, this motherfucker is just standing right in my path to get to my car. And I don't know. He smokes by the picnic tables. Like, when are you gonna smoke right here? You know, like, it's where my people hang out. I walk past them, hey, fuck you bitches, and Woody and all them, you know, Chad and all the motherfuckers and Cheeto. But then I come around the corner, and, oh fuck, there he is. It's just awkward, you know what I mean? And he's just gaily smoking his cigarette. Like I said, I don't give a fuck what and he's just got his other hand on his hip, and he's like a chub, you know, like a gay chub. I don't know what his orientation is. He could be straighter to Scarecrow's Becker. But you look down, he's got a little jean shorts, tight, a little too tight for a man. His little faggoty shirt, his hair, his little gay beard, and you look down, bro. I shit you not. I'm not making this up. Orange, and I love orange. Maybe orange Crocs. Just picture the whole package, and then you look down, orange Crocs. Like, what happened to this motherfucker? Today, this has been going on for 2 years, forever. It's once in a great while, thank fucking Christ, because those idiots upstairs, they work from home most of the time. You know, they're in sales. Well, it's easy working from home. Okay, what? Well, how many fucking connectors do you need? Is it dual fitting? Yeah, you fucking prick. It's dual fitting. Get the fucking work order right, because we got to read the work orders, and it's like, oh, dual fitting, and I'm picking, okay, 10, let's make it easy. 10 cables, custom link cables, dual fitting. I'm picking 10 connectors. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with that?
You need 20.
I need 20. God damn, hire him. See, you already know more about what's going on with this worker than the fuckface. They're mostly in Baltimore. Baltimore is just fuck. What the fuck do you know?
But I do deal with that a lot.
Huh?
I do
Yeah, so, yeah, you deal with those kinds of numbers.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers just don't get, they do it all the time. And here's one of these crock-wearing motherfuckers. Today, I'm walking back, and I'm stoned as a motherfucker, too, after lunch. And I see his little faggoty car. Was that Cheeto's car? It could have been Cheeto event. So I don't know. I don't pay attention to the world. I just tunnel vision my way through it. I just happen to look around and I'm sure that's his fucking car. He's a fucking veteran. And I'm like, okay. Now I'm really high, too. I'm getting higher and higher as I'm walking back to the building. Lunch with my car. I'm like, okay, that motherfucker's either lost his mind in the war and said, fuck it, I'm going full on fucking pansy ass, faggoty ass, whatever, anything to remove me from the war. But I'm gonna have my veterans plate just in case I get pulled over, you know, or whatever, get a cop behind me. I can go in either direction. Give me a cop. I fucking hate veterans. Lord, get stepped down as a veteran. Fuck this guy. Breathe. What's up, motherfucker? Oh, you white too? Oh, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you hard because I'm a cop and I can do it. Or be special forces. Special forces, they're such badasses. They'll dress in civilian clothing like a fucking faggot, man. And just throw people way off. Skinny, just dorky, and just people laugh at them and knowing in their minds that they could just kill this entire restaurant of 50 people with a toothpick in, I'll do it in 13 minutes. Army Rangers, you know. Delta Force. I guess I read some Delta Force. They're badder than the Navy SEALs.
Oh, way better.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You told me that, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's Delta Force and the CIA fucking ops. They got their fucking ops.
They work like together a lot.
But the thing is, they don't want to be known. They don't want to be out there like the Navy SEAls on all the documentaries and this and that. Fucking Navy SEAL, man! All these YouTubers, ex-Navy SEAL. They'll just, if there's a Delta Force, one of those ex-ops from Army or fucking CIA. Sean Ryan's a SEAL, but he's a little bit, he's beyond a SEAL.
SEAL, but he also went and did CIA
Did I say Sean Ryan? Sean Ryan, you know, Sean Ryan also worked for the CIA, but Ronzi, who was a Marine in Vietnam, I used to get all kinds of shit from him. Ronzi was a Vietnam, he looks exactly like, what's his name, Al Franken from Saturday Night Live. I'm good enough. He looks just like Al Franken. The glasses, everything. Goofy smile, but he knows things. He was at Altamont, and the Hells Angels you know, well, it wasn't the Hells Angels that killed Meredith Hunter. Meredith Hunter got himself killed. But it's Altamont, you know Altamont, the Hells Angels, Rolling Stones. Huh? You don't know anything about Altamont, the Hells Angels, and Rolling Stones? I'll tell you one of these days. Ronzi was there. Fucking, I remember thinking, because I was 26 when I worked at AT&T, and I worked with a fuck ton of Vietnam vets there. I've been around a lot of Vietnam vets, and I love them. They weren't like my parents' silent generation. They went to war for the United States government, but they weren't like my stepdad Art, my old fart, all the old farts, silent generation. They just went to war. World War II vets went to war. They probably worked on a farm. They probably worked in, who knows, they probably worked in the city. And next thing you know, we're at war with the Japanese Imperial Army, and we're also at war in the European theater with Germany. Fourth Reich, who happened to be at the time the Fourth Reich, Nazi Fourth Reich with Hitler. Boy, howdy. So, and then they came back from the war. World War II's over. Well, these boys, silent generation, whose minds were completely under the control of Charles Edward Bernays, God help us all, believed in their country, believed in the United States, trusted the government. Men who fought in World War I and II trusted. There was a few smart ones that probably said, fuck you, I know what's going on. But people like my father and my stepfather, Arthur A. Kelly, 4 years in the Philippines. Saw the worst, horrific horrors of war. Came back, like nobody's business, went to work, shut the fuck up, didn't go. Then you had Vietnam. And, there's the fucking mainstream media, the news, where, oh, they're all baby killers and fucking this and that. There's stories coming back. And these boys come back from war in Vietnam. And the American people, the CIA knew exactly what was going on both sides. The CIA knew exactly what they were doing with the minds of Americans here at home. And then the people at home, the CIA also knew firsthand what was going on with our boys over there in Vietnam. People over here had no idea what was going on. All they knew was baby killers, fucking rapists, they're fucking raping fucking little Vietnamese babies, the anti-war movement and this and that. And blah, oh my God, fucking they come back. And all these dudes coming back from Vietnam are like, the ones that made it back, 58,000 GIs died over there. This proxy war that kind of meant nothing, this useless fucking war. The Vietnamese people did nothing to us as Americans, citizens. They did nothing to us. We had nobody to be pissed off at. Why are we over there? A lot of people were asking. The smart people in the United States were asking people in college. There's a big anti-war movement. They were in line, they're smoking weed in college, going dropping LSD and going, wait a minute, no, why is my brother over in Vietnam getting murdered? Why my cousin Vinny, my best friend, my cousin Vinny, he got killed in Nam, I lost Vinny, why? For what? All these people started asking questions. This wasn't World War II anymore, this was different. These guys are getting, and pretty soon there's certain groups. These boys are coming back from Vietnam, fucking shooting smack. I firsthand knew Hatchet Throwing Eddie. One night, he yelled at me one night because he just kind of went into a Vietnam trip. He told me, he goes, we shot smack when we were in Vietnam, heroin. And I almost didn't want to have this conversation with him. I've been partying with Kenny for 3 days at this shithole place. And Hatchet Throwing Eddie was there because I knew him from Bubba. And I asked him a few questions about Nam, which is a no-no. You really don't ask Vietnam veterans, especially back then when they were young. You don't ask war veterans about their war. You just let them talk if they want to talk. Shut the fuck up. But I was young and I was drunk. I was there for 3 days. And I was in the kitchen with Eddie. His old lady's kind of over here. And I asked him something about Vietnam. And he looks at me and he goes, he kind of looked like me at the time too, because I was just about 15 years ago. And he goes, you know what I did in Vietnam? I shot heroin, shot smack. That's what we did. That's what my little regiment did. He goes, you know why? He goes, because our job was to throw body bags with bodies in them of our people on an airplane. Body bags. That's what he did. That's what I did. And then he's looking at it. He was a crazy motherfucker. Hatchet Throwing Eddie. I saw him throw a rig at little Johnny. Little baby face. Johnny was a baby. And I made the mistake of, oh, that's Eddie over there. We're over there. And Eddie goes, you won't. And I go, and I said something about beers or something. We're going to go get some beers. And Eddie was a trip. He was a warrior. He was like, he reminded me of a lot of fucking Willem Dafoe's character. How the fuck am I forgetting his name? Anyhow, Elias in Platoon. And he was a junkie, you know. He was shooting speed when we were back in the 80s. And me and baby Johnny, little baby Johnny Gunn, baby of the family, Spacey Jason's baby brother. And I was stupid enough to take Johnny over there because we just got out of my car. We were working together. I was working for the Godwin family. And we go tucked down in the bushes with Hatchet Throwing Eddie. He wasn't Hatchet Throwing Eddie yet. He was just junkie Eddie. And he's cross-legged. Spacey Jason didn't like him. And if he knew I took his baby brother in the bushes, Eddie, he would have been pissed off at me. Fucking, we went down and we sat down with him in the bush. He's sitting cross-legged. He used to have these laced-up fucking leather boots like a fucking Native American. And he was just your classic junkie. At the time, I didn't know he was a Vietnam vet at the time. And we're sitting there, and Johnny's like, fuck, whoa, who the fuck is this motherfucker? He didn't say, he's mesmerized by him. And what's up? And I said something, we're going to go get some beers. And fucking, all of a sudden,
out of nowhere, like a magician, I get pelted, point blank fastball with a fucking full Budweiser. There's my beer, and it kind of hurt because he just kind of tucked his fingers underneath his crossed legs, sitting in the weeds underneath these bushes, underneath the plant. He was high as fuck. I can tell. He's just like this, and he fucking just fastballs me a beer. It could have been a knife. He could have killed me. He could have killed us both. Easy. And just stood up and walked away, and nobody would know who fucking killed us. But it was a beer, thank God. And he just hit me in like sternum, and it like hurt a bit. And like you don't want to act like a pussy. I'm like, oh, right on, thanks, bro. And fucking Johnny goes, whoa, and fucking Eddie goes, boom, hits him with a beer too. The fucking Johnny's like, he didn't hurt Johnny. He knew where to hit him. He got him in the soft part of the jacket, you know. We had jackets on. And Johnny's like, oh, thanks. And he goes, you guys really want to party, do this. And he flung this fucking thing wrapped up in a rubber band, 2 rubber bands, and a fucking napkin. It was his fucking ring. It was his needle. And dope and everything, spoon, everything. And Johnny's like, well, and I go, oh, Eddie, yeah. And I think I grabbed it, and I said, nah, that the kid don't want, I didn't introduce him or nothing. And I go, Johnny, let's go, let's get out of here. Because I didn't know what he was capable of a lot of shit. First time I ever met him, we were supposed to shoulder tap. And I was drunk, and Johnny went in the bar and said, well, hang on, because Johnny didn't even have an ID. He was drinking at the bar. And he brought Eddie, you know, Junkie Eddie, around the corner. And I was already drunk, and we were getting more beers, and I was such an asshole. And it was, you know, it was right there at Bella 49. It was my turf. I had no idea who this person was. Eddie. First time I ever met him in my life. And Johnny goes, I got us a buyer. And fucking, and I thought something we were doing a transaction, blah, 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 and I didn't pull out the money yet. Late at night, and I looked up at this dude who turned out to be Junkie Hexathrone Eddie, and I said, well, we gonna fucking do this or not? Because I was a badass. I was a baby. I was like 16. This guy could have killed me. He could have cut both of our throats right there in that little dark alley. And he just turns and calmly walks away. Disappears into the night. Huh. And instantly I realized, oh, this guy ain't no clown. He's not the usual clown. I could tell. That whole gesture, just the way I knew his caliber. And later on, I really knew. And fucking, so years later, like 2000, dude, we're going from 1987, bam, to like 2000, it was 2000, 2001, 1999, somewhere around there. We're talking 11 years later, over a decade later. And it turns out Hatchet, Chunky Eddie lives here, huh? This little shithole place that Kenny was living in. They turned this old office building into some fucking slumlord, turned an old office building into this big co-op apartment building, sort of. Everybody got like a studio, but you had to share the kitchen and the shitter. One of those things. And so we're all in the kitchen, we're making, trying to scrape up some food. And I'm talking to Hatchet Throwing Eddie, talking about Vietnam. He's all, yeah, man, that's what he did. I just loaded fucking airplanes and fucking body bags with dead fucking American boys that I shot smack because I couldn't fucking deal with it. He's looking at me. He's like, what the fuck did you do? What the fuck did you do? And I'm like, and I'm pinned in this kitchen with Eddie and his old lady, and I'm like, almost like, normally I'd knock somebody out for doing that, or at least get my ass kicked trying, I'm not a badass. I was never a badass. But I was stupid enough to be like, something snapped in my brain one night when I was on LSD, and I said, fuck this, I don't back down to no motherfucker. Ever since that night, I don't back down to no motherfucker. If it means me getting killed, I'm prepared to lose my life. You just ain't gonna treat me like a bitch, because the other side is a nightmare to me. It's the same mentality as being trapped in an intersection with idiots, drivers. That was the same thing that happened that morning. Same thing. No, I'm not doing this. But now with Hatchet Throwing Eddie, he has my respect. He earned my respect over the years. Kind of got to know him a little bit. Hey, what's up, brother? Just the limits with Hatchet Throwing Eddie. And his old lady, what the fuck did you do? And I'm like, and his old lady's like, hey, calm down. He looks at her, her hand quickly away from him. And he looks back at me. And I'm smiling. You want another beer, Eddie? Can I get you another beer, brother? And he's just quiet, just kind of trying to get himself back out of that realm. And I go, let me get you a beer. And I just took off running. I went outside, smoked a cigarette. I never fucked with him the rest of it. And then I think he came out later and talked to me. And I'm like, shit, what's going to happen? Is he going to kill me? I was living with Holly in Auburn, you know, fucking, she has no idea where the fuck I'm at, as usual. I'm going to be getting murdered by Hatchet Throwing Eddie. He comes out there and he goes, and he was recovered, and he's like, you know what? He told me this story. He goes, you remember back in Bell Gardens in '87? Remember those days? You were just like a high schooler. Remember those days? I go, oh yeah. He goes, man, one night, me and this other dude, he's another Vietnam vet, and I had no idea this happened. Nobody ever told me the story about it, and I believed him. He goes, man, one night we got really high. And this Bell Gardens, the goddamn sheriff station was right there back then. Right there. It's all leveled now. They rebuilt, put in some new buildings. Thank God. There's a trippy place. And he goes, one night, my buddy was really fucking high. We found a bunch of shit at some property somewhere. Some dude's house. And, can we have this? Yeah, can we have that? Yeah, just get it out of here. They're pulling out trunks of shit. You know how it works. Tweakers and fucking junkies, and they were going through the shit at somebody's apartment there in Bell Gardens. He never lived anywhere. Even back in the 80s, he was the homeless. He was just sleeping in a sleeping bag. He was a fucking warrior, man, from Vietnam, who just liked drugs and fucking drank a little bit. He wasn't a drunk like we were, but, and he goes, man, we found a bunch of gunpowder or something, some blasting powder. So he said it was high explosive shit. He knew exactly what it was, Vietnam vet. And he goes, looked at each other. You just think what I'm thinking. Go, fuck yeah, let's do it right now. And he found a fucking, like a can, a Folgers can, but it was a steel can, and they made a fucking bomb out of it, right? Just for kicks. It's like 3 in the morning. Auburn, California, 1980, whatever, 86, 87. He said they went out, right out to there's a big grass area out there, left over from the Reagan area with it. Well, it used to be a military base, and it was a fucking it was a nut house, which is crazy because the apartments we lived in, me and Beth, it was a nightmare living there with her. It was hell. I literally lived in hell in that place. And Rob lived down the hall. He told me later on, oh yeah, that place is just nothing but evil spirits. It's a fucking old loony bin. All those spirits, madhouse, right? And it was wrong. Everything about that whole 6 months. We moved out. Roaches were taking over. It was disgusting. And Hatchet Throwing Eddie's all, yeah, we went out right out to that big grass area out there, this Bell Road. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and they fucking set that motherfucker up, just like your dad. Middle of the night, and they set that, he made a fuse or whatever. They fucking set it up. And he said they didn't even bother timing it or nothing. He said they lit it, and both of them went sprinting back into the fucking building. That shithole, roach-infested Leo's dad, your dad's friend was with Leo. His dad was the slumlord there. I don't think he owned it. I think he just managed it for some fucker that owned it. Good guy, good old Mexican man. And they fucking went sprinting in there. He said as soon as his foot, he was in front of the other guy, Hatchet Throwing Eddie said as soon as his foot, just before it hit that porch, because he leaped over the first 2 steps, that shitty old wooden porch, just before his foot touched the porch, boom! And they just kept running in the building. They went back into whatever apartment they were tweaking in that night. And they just fucking closed the door and locked the door. Just fucking lay low. And it's right next to the cop shop. I think they tried to push it. Because you can get away with murder there. And I used to ask people, I asked somebody one time, because there was so much drugs moving through there. There was a lot of issues. People getting stabbed once in a while, and it was almost hush-hush. The cops were right there. When I lived there, you look out at any of my windows, it's all one shitty apartment. It's all the same window, same view. You look down, it's down at, we're on the 2nd story, me and Beth. It's all the Placer County Sheriff's squad cars. You know, at the shift change, 7 p.m., 7 a.m., you hear them go beep, beep, because they have to test,
oh, yeah.
They have to chirp before they leave the yard. There's probably another cop watching them at the fucking window or whatever, and they got to confirm that their sirens work. It's a state law. I'm sure it's under commissioned officers, fuck, blah, 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 blah. And I'm doing all fucking, and they chirp, I hear them all the time. And I asked somebody, I go, wait, I got away with murders too. I mean, I that's when I started becoming physically abusive with Beth, because that cunt would just, she literally tried to drive me nuts, like Stacy, literally tried to drive me insane. Disappear for days at a time, and be like, she couldn't understand. I didn't realize what a sociopath was back then, and it was a nightmare in there. And there's probably those evil spirits and weak minds, like God rest her soul. But weak minds and evil places is a recipe for disaster. But then again, she kind of outdid herself after that, so she had her own fucking thing going. And I asked somebody, how the fuck is everybody getting away with all this shit when the cops are right there? And this person told me, forgot who it was, probably a dude, and he looked at an older guy and he said, because this place is protected, it's their turf. That's what I try to explain to you about. No, Robert, don't. If the cops are hanging out on your turf right there, it's not your turf, it's their turf. But you will be protected because you are on their turf. This is their street. You know what I mean? You are protected by that department. It's just how it works. And I'm like, whoa. And I've only seen the cops there one time, and they're fucking busted Tim Sawyer down. We were all on acid. The whole building was on LSD. I thought it was just me and Beth that night. Again, that's the second time that happened where I thought it was just me and this little group, but it was just me and my old lady. Because we were walking through the greens, we were walking home from my mom's on Dry Creek, and it was a real boring fucking, we were just kind of down, it was so depressing living there with that bitch. She made it worse. She took a fucked up time, unemployment, on welfare, just a downtime in my life, and she just made it worse. You know, and just, we're walking through the greens and just fuck life, you know. And I saw some idiot I knew, sorta, it wasn't a friend. Hey, what's up, bro? And there's 4 people. This is what it was in 1987. Walking through the green, because 1987, the greens were starting to slow down. Everybody was dying, going to jail, moving out of state, moving out of town, moving out of the greens. It wasn't fun like it was in 1983, 84, 85, 86, even 87, you know? No, this was 89. It was still good times, 88, 89. It started really slowing down in the greens. It started getting a little less white, a little browner, a little less English, a little more Reba! Just a little bit, because they still had to be careful, because Auburn was still really racist then. The 90s haven't hit. Because in the 90s, I noticed racism was really taking off. Or kind of racism I never knew 10 years ago. It's 93, like, whoa. But it was right before the orgasm racism in Auburn, California. 2000 comes along, and then racism went poof, because there's more black people. There's a fuck ton of Mexicans now. It's 2000, motherfucker. Reba, we're taking California back. Now, where's all the white people? Fucking, you know, welcome back to fucking California, puto! Gringo! So, I don't want to get too racist here, but it's not racist. This is California history. Where were we going with this? Oh, so, yeah, that cunt put me through fucking hell. I mean, it was already a bad situation. She just made it worse, dude. Where the fuck you been for the last 3 days, you dumb cunt? What are you so upset about? Because you're my old lady. We're shacking up. We live together. Do you understand the concept, you fucking stupid whore? Fuck you, asshole. No, bitch. You've been disappeared. Gone. Why is your shirt on inside out? Where's your bra? Your trunk? Your big tits? And I lost my fucking mind. And she started just, fuck yeah, motherfucker. She started turning around and leave. And I said, oh, really? Honey, let me explain something to you. As I slammed the fucking door back shut over her head, as I towered over her. I said, let me explain something to you. I was raised by cowboys, bitch. Went up, grabbed her by the hair, fucking walked her into the living room, fucking right into the couch. I didn't hit her yet. And I said, listen, bitch. And she's all, and throws one of her little temper tantrums she threw to her adopted parents, her whole fucking childhood. Teenage years, here we go. Fights on. And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now, bitch? You really gonna pull this shit right? My heart has been torn out for 72 hours nonstop, unable to eat, sleep, do anything in my life, so I have no idea where the fuck my old lady is. Do you understand what a nightmare this produces for a 19-year-old kid, boy, skinny, brown, Asian Hawaiian, nobody cares, who cannot get laid in Auburn, California, because Auburn, California is deeply racist. Me getting a girlfriend in this town, I'm going to be selected for a Mars mission before that happens. So I have to cling, oh wait, we're going this way, to you, dumb fuck, this bitch, who I don't know is a sociopath, you know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you think about all this?
Yeah.
You know? Bro, thank you. I mean, that's the exact answer I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, just yeah, not no good or bad. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! This is why I hired you. Well, I didn't hire you, but this is why I kidnapped you from that mountain in Tibet. Was that place where you from? Just no right or wrong. I feel like, you know what? With your answer, I feel like everything's just been released. See how angry I was getting? I wanted to go dig up the mother of my firstborn and just punch her in the fucking skull, like a rotted out skull, and laugh because my fist went through the hole of her face, but they burned her. They torched her, god damn it. And I always say that because that actually feels pretty good. That would feel pretty good. Just dig her up, take my grandkids. Hey, look, this is your grandmother right here. What are we doing, Grandpa? My 14-year-old grandson, James, who's as tall as me, and Aria, my granddaughter, who's probably going to do my taxes next year. She's so goddamn smart. I'm going to take them to, hey, you guys want to go have some fun next time their mother comes through? What do you got? Her mom's, the mom, my daughter, is going to be, oh, what are you guys doing? I'm going to take them rock hunting out in the desert. And then just take them to the grave of their grandmother. Go, hey, we're going to fucking grab the shovel. Grab that flashlight, Aria. James, grab that shovel. All right, come on. And I got a shovel. Everybody gets a shovel. Everybody gets a flashlight. A headlamp. Brand new headlamps. Yeah, you can open up the wrapper. Just got on Amazon. Look, one says Aria, one says James. The other one says Grandpa, look. And go fucking start digging. We're going to dig some holes. We're going to dig for rocks. And Aria's going to be like, Grandpa, this is a cemetery. I know, but I heard there's some really good rocks out here, dude. Crystals, they grow. They grow. Did you guys know that? Come on. Light your lanterns. And dig that bitch up. And Grandpa, there's a headstone with my grandmother's name. This is my grandmother's grave. Grandpa, what are you doing? Just start digging. No, I'm not. And James will be like, fuck yeah, I'm digging. What is that? It's fun. It's this road. It didn't do that. So yeah. I just be digging it up. And as I'm digging, bitch, I can fucking do that to me. I know you were fucking other man out there. I was a tender 19-year-old. I was in love with you. And as the more I'm talking and getting angry, I'm digging deeper. And fucking out. And now they're both just kind of, they're both passed out. It's the middle of the night. You can't do it during the day. You can. You should do it during the day. And I got this. And they wake up to the fucking coyotes because they can smell something. They got it, you know. And coyotes know I've been out there digging something up. And normally these motherfuckers get on my nerves. You're creeping a little too slow. I'm doing 72. So they wake up just before that, when the black sky turns like the light blue. Goes from black to dark blue to kind of a light, really, really ominous light blue. And they wake up to me going, you fucking whore. No, they wake up to the sound of ee, and it's a casket opening. And it kind of wakes them up, both of them simultaneously. And they're not fully awake, they don't see anything yet. But I saw Duke County, boy, headed east. But they hear my voice go, you fucking good. How could you fucking do it? How could you do it? It's not loud. The creak of the casket lid is loud, the hinges. But what I'm saying is that it's just kind of, they can barely hear it, but they know what I'm saying. How could you do that, you fucking whore? You used to fucking torture me. And then you hear this. That's my fist punching through her fucking, I don't know, 8-7 year decayed face. And then I hear a little giggle. And I hear it. Because I saved a joint. I don't smoke weed too much anymore. I do vape and THC, but I had your dad roll me a special joint for Beth. Your dad knows exactly what I'm going to do. He's the only person on earth that I told my plans to. And he laughed about it. I invited him, but he had some other shit to do that night. And fucking, I'm just like this joint he rolled for me. And he told me before I left the house, I rolled you a special blend. And it's this really giggly shit. I'm like, my 2 grandkids, now teenagers, are waking up to me just laughing over their grandmother's fucking open casket fucking exhumation. When you exhume somebody, what's that called? Because you're exhuming, you exhume them, but in the process of an exhume, is it an exhumation? Is it exhume? I don't know. I bet I know the answer though. I bet it's yeah.
Yeah.
God damn! You are a fucking genius. You sure you're not like the leader of some cult or so? I mean, you could be. It's possible, right? You breathe oxygen? Yeah.
What does one do? It does.
What? Wait, what? One does what?
What does one do? It does.
What does one do? It does. God almighty.
Mm-hmm. In every situation.
Holy shit. I love you, man. Are you gonna go back and pray to in your temple, or you gonna walk back to China, or just figure it out? Yeah is the answer. Just yeah.
Yahweh.
Wow. Thank you so much. I didn't even have you look at these levers yet, but that's later. We do that later.
Oh, those
I was gonna have you examine these. They're all right. They're cheap. They're $20.
Oh, yeah,
I'll explain it later.
About today, I didn't tell you.
Oh, I fucked up your story. Oh, dude. Tell me in the morning. All right. Damn. That was crazy. I just this dude sent me an email last year saying I need to make my way to America. And I thought he was some crazy motherfucker, and he kept emailing me for a year, and I started asking him questions, and his answers were like it just made so much sense, but they had nothing to do with the question. So I asked him, like, well, why do you want to come to America so bad? Well, and I go, you know what? The CCP, Chinese Communist Party, you're under oppression. And he said, he emailed back, because I'd email him, I wouldn't have anybody to talk to once in a while, and I'd email him like things like I told him what happened in the first grade between myself and Brenda Lester, because I got off the bus. I was in first grade. See, when I was in first grade, when I was in kindergarten, I cracked open a family member's Penthouse magazine. And in 1974, when I was in kindergarten, Penthouse magazine was hot. I mean, it's hot now, but it's kind of tasteless. I mean, it was really exotic. And they had the most beautiful fucking women on planet fucking Earth. That this guy, I found out years later as an adult who the owner was. It was a documentary. The owner of Penthouse magazine. And it was done clean, it was a clean documentary. It didn't get any, there's no sex or nudity, but wow, that's the dude. That's the Hugh Hefner of Penthouse magazine. Because Penthouse magazine, there was Playboy. I was checking out this family member's Penthouse magazine, and they showed everything. I mean, Playboy would show. Up until the 60s, Playboy wasn't even showing any pussy. I mean, they weren't even showing a little patch of pubes, pussy hair. All they were showing was tits. It's like, so as a 5-year-old who was already well versed in the study of Penthouse magazine, 1974 to shit all the way into the fucking 90s until I realized what a fucking... everything becomes plasticky after decades and decades. They run out of ideas. Unless they start, like Larry Flint, they start just fucking doing some crazy fucking shit with a magazine. That's why he got shot, because he was hated. But that's a whole other story. But, so as a 5-year-old, I'm looking at Penthouse magazine, I'm like, God damn, dude, I need to get some pussy. Because this is why you don't share pornography with a child. Because they'll wind up like me. Why is this motherfucker hobbling around like this? It only does it on this fucking road. This road's fucked up from the trucks. God damn, that's fucked up. Something's fucked up with my shit. Or I just gotta let this... Anyhow, I'll figure that shit out later. Jesus Christ. So, I'm 5 years old. I'm well-versed in Penthouse magazine. Why is this? It feels like my front end's gonna fall off. I rotated the tires after about fucking... I was supposed to rotate about 30,000 miles ago, but probably more than that, actually. God damn, it only does it on this stretch of road. Well, as I turn, like I said, it's still wrong, because I just turn. If I turn this way a little bit, it goes away. So, it's just the rubber. It's got to fucking acclimate itself. Doing 65. So by the time I looked at my first Playboy, I'm like, hey, all right, Playboy, huh? Yeah, everybody puts Playboys and everything. Playboy. I was about 7 or 8 when I looked at my first Playboy. I was at another adult family member's house, and I went to use their shitter in the master bedroom, and I saw a whole goddamn stack of fucking magazines with a really beautiful woman on the front. It was Playboy. Oh yeah, Playboy. I heard about it as an 8-year-old. Going to take a shit. And then pretty soon, I'd stay there summers, Christmas, during 2 weeks off, Christmas vacation, Easter week off from school, I'd stay there. And every time, I gotta use the restroom. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and use the master. All right, don't get nobody come back here. Run back there really quick and stack up Playboys. But, I was going through this Playboy first time, and I'm going through Playboy after Playboy through this whole fucking stack going, this can't be it. These motherfuckers gotta be joking. What the fuck is going on here? Am I in hell? Where the fuck's the fucking labia, the fucking clit, the fucking... Why isn't this... None of these cunts are gonna shove anything up their fucking shit? Up their stench? What the fuck? No buttholes, nothing. They're not gonna fuck some fucking guy that's crawling... I'm Wendy. I'm going to fucking Massachusetts. I'm Wendy. I'm a student at fucking Columbia University. Hi, here's my college. Here's my college lettered fucking little sweater. But I'm not wearing anything underneath, and here's a little part of my butt. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Gets to the crescendo, and she's like, oh, look, there's some pubes. And I'm fucking tossing that, it's just... I'm sorry, Hugh. Hugh was geared towards the gentleman. Oh, Playboy's a gentleman magazine. It's not pornography. No! Penthouse was not pornography, asshole. Well, not until the 90s. Penthouse was exotic. Penthouse did things that every man in the United States of America with a pair of testicles who was heterosexual, wasn't gay, did. The owner of Penthouse magazine did what every man in this country was thinking while reading Playboy magazine, because Playboy magazine was distinguished. It was a gentleman's magazine. It says it right on the fucking front cover, Playboy Gentleman's Magazine, or something like that. And the articles, I'm gonna tell you this, because a lot of men used to joke, I subscribe to Playboy for the articles. It's a joke. Everybody knows that joke. Playboy had some excellent journalists. That's one thing about Hugh Hefner. He knew what he was doing. It wasn't about pussy. Playboy magazine was never about pussy. It was about a gentleman's lifestyle. men with a lot of money. So the rich, the men, the wealthy men in this country, United States, or around the world, enjoyed and got to shop. They got to do things with Playboy magazine that not everybody got to do. They got to shop. They got what's the newest, latest shit. But all this shit, there's no price because if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. Hugh Hefner was a genius in that sense. And by the way, there's some pussy to look at. That's what Playboy made, and the Playmate of the Month. Of course. Centerfold, open Centerfold, read about her, fucking all this shit. God damn, I gotta wait for these fucking, I think it's the, it feels like it's coming from the front. Yeah, this is a little fucked. I might have fucked up these tires. I might have to spend another $1,000 and fucking get a new set of tires. It's all-wheel drive, you can't fuck around with it. I don't know if there's any way to fix this. I'm gonna have to drop another thou. Hang on to these Toyota tires just in case. I got this asshole in the van following me a little too close. Let's lose this fucking ass, even with my fucking Yanni fucking tires. Because if I go up to 75, the shaking's a little better. 75, 76, 77. Lose this fucking asshole behind me. He was probably locked. He probably had to be locked on. Now I'm a dick. Now I broke his lock. 77, 75. I'm fiending for a fucking motorcycle ride. I think I got my bike torn apart. I got to do a few things to it. Actually, it's not a few things. I'm gonna replace the ignition system. Just the coils and plugs. God damn, it's still light. Stay lighter later. I'm fucking ready for a ride. I haven't ridden my motorcycle in over a week. I'm falling apart. My brother, Sean, that poor bastard, I don't think he's ridden. He'll ride to the bar. Refuses to wear a full face helmet. I said, bro, you can ride all winter long, especially you, because you don't have to ride to work in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning when it's fucking below freezing. But he could take off during midday. He's retired. He made a good life for himself. And he can take off on his bike anytime midday down to the bar, which is not on highway speeds. There's no cold. And I told him, dude, he refuses to wear a full face helmet. And I'm not going to fuck with him on that. I'm not going to say, hey, you really should, because if he goes out there and gets himself killed for a reason why he didn't want to wear a front, then I'd probably hang myself, I'd shoot myself in the face if I caused the death of my bro. I'd shoot myself in the face and live, just to suffer, because I couldn't get over them. I'd make sure I'd live. I'd shoot half my face off like that dude that they sued Judas Priest over. Blew half his face off. Him and his buddy had this suicide pact. It's fucking stupid, and they sued Judas Priest. It was here. It was in Reno. Judas Priest came to Reno, and all the Judas Priest fans back in the 80s, people were coming from all over the country to Reno, Nevada. What the fuck is going on? What is they having a concert? It's a courthouse. What is going on? It's Judas Priest. What are they doing? Playing a concert in the courthouse? No, they got sued. Why? Because 2 idiots in Tennessee blew their fucking heads off. One of them lived. The other one died. And then I saw the picture of the kid that lived. And he just after about a year after recovery, after all the plastic surgeries and saving this fucking kid's face, the doctors are like, he's never going to be able to get any pussy. He's never going to be able to mouth anything, but we'll put his face back together because we're making millions. And now they're getting donorships because it was a high profile case. Anyhow, we made it home. And that concludes today. What are we at? Almost an hour. That's not bad. It's not bad. We kept it under an hour. You listen. All 3 of you listen on YouTube. Listen to me fucking. It's all because of my. I have who to thank for all this. For the last hour of useful information that I shared. Did I just fucking gave you all 3 of you for free? Who do I thank? My I can't even say her name. She programmed me. That's why. Through her drugs. My therapist, the lead of my team of therapists in Santa Rosa, California, and the team lead. I have a whole team of therapists because I'm a little fucked up. I mean, some people have therapists. I have a whole team. Her name's Maria. She's a sweetheart. I mean, she puts up with me. She understands. She's actually a psychologist, but she dropped down to clinical therapist because she just saw a niche in the system. And she's a valiant woman. She lives in a van down by the river. I'm not kidding. She bought some property. My team lead therapist, the leader of my team, Maria, Santa Rosa, well, she bought some property in Santa Rosa. I mean, she was a psychologist. She was, this is back in the early 2000s. And Maria, you know, I call her up once in a while, depending on what day it is, if it's a good day or a bad day. If I'm having a bad day, I call her up and I say, listen to me, cunt. She answers the phone when I call. Because one time she didn't answer the phone. I got on my crotch rocket and I rode right from this driveway 200 miles to Santa Rosa, California from Silver Springs, Nevada. Silver Springs, Nevada, over 200 miles to Santa Rosa, California. And the funny part was, it was raining when I showed up there, down there in the Bay Area, in the middle of the night. It was the classic, her answering the front door, because I'm pounding on that motherfucker. Pounding, boom, 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 boom! And she opens the door to her nice little, her little place she had down there. And she goes, huh? She goes, Jimmy? And I'm just soaking wet, dripping rain. And she's like, oh my God, Jimmy, come inside. You're soaking wet. Get out of those clothes. And she got me all warmed up. Didn't even ask me what I wanted. And she got me all cozy by her fireplace. And she put me in this big puffy, because she was making about $500,000 a year back then as a therapist. Psychologist. A licensed psychologist. Not a clinical therapist. A fucking shrink. The real deal. The only motherfucking one that can call themselves doctor. The only ones that are allowed to prescribe medication to Americans. And I got all cozy. She made me cocoa, and I'm in this big, the most soft, puffy, cozy, big fat fucking, like, it was like a bathrobe, but it was just, you floated inside this bathrobe of just goodness, just fuzzy goodness. It's almost borderline just, hey, that makes you, it's so cozy, it makes you kind of, you ever get so cozy in something? It's like my sleeping bag, my 35 below zero sleeping bag, big poofy sleeping bag I have right now I sleep in. And you're just floating in this goodness, and she hands you, Maria, you know, she's Italian and German, and she just hands you this mug, and this blue mug, and it's just got this goodness coming out of it. And you look down, and there's this little blue teddy bear. But he doesn't look like a real bear, but you can look into his eyes on her coffee mug. Little blue teddy bear, and there's a soul in there. How the fuck did that? Who made that? I'm looking in the teddy bear's eyes in this little mug. He's a little blue teddy bear. He's looking right up at me going, Jimmy, it's going to be, everything's fine now. You're fine, you're safe. Drink me, Jimmy. Drink the goodness. And I drank this cocoa, and as soon as I tasted this cocoa, hot cocoa, I went, what is this? I looked at Maria. She goes, it's a rare chocolate from the Andes Mountains. I got it myself. I climbed 10,000 fucking feet up the side of this mountain just to get that chocolate. It's the only place you can get it. She goes, I traveled all the fuck to way to the Andes. This is my shrink, Maria. She said, that's the only few times I've heard her say fuck. I've only heard her say fuck twice, ever. And since I first met her 23 years ago, when I was really fucked up. I was in my 20s. And I've only heard her say fuck twice. That time, and another time when she was talking about her first husband. She just mentioned, matter of fact, and I go, what about you? You know, I go, what about you? What about your marriage or whatever? And it went quiet for a second. Because when you're talking to a shrink, sometimes it's not the classic, my back's turned toward her. She goes, that's bullshit. We talk face to face. You know, she's real. She goes, you know what she told me the first time I met her? The first fucking sentence out of her mouth was, first of all, the psychology establishment in the United States of America is a fucking crock of shit. Somebody should have shot Edward Bernays right in the middle of fucking between the eyes back in the fucking 1920s. And I'm 27, really fucked off, and I'm like, got it? She goes, the entire psychological study in the United States of America is fucking bullshit. And I'm like, I'm with you because I hate the establishment. I hate the system. And she went like this. But I thought it was, I got you, but I later realized, you know, you think about a gesture that somebody made and it stays on your mind. You never ask them because you just don't. But I now know that gesture was her going, motherfucker, you don't even know. That was it. Because there's this. But you got to be careful because this can mean, I think you understand where I'm coming from. Or in our case at that moment, that was inaccurate. I had an inaccurate observation. There's a little nuance to it. Motherfucker, you don't even know. And that's exactly what that was. But one time I asked her, what about you? What about your relationships? We've been talking about my relationships for fucking 6 years now. Because somewhere at the 6-year point, I started growing, thought I had balls. And I asked her, and she goes, actually, it wasn't fuck. She said, she diced it up a little. She spiced up the word fuck a little bit. Because she said, I don't know, this is about 15 fucking years ago, so forgive me. Bear with me. She said something on the lines of, I go, what about you? She goes, I was married once. And no one's ever heard from that motherfucker since. And something deep inside my dumbass fucking chest, even at age, probably my 30s, I'm still a drinker, and I'm still an idiot. I never listened, I wasn't taking her advice, none of her advice. She told me every time I came back. She goes, what's on your mind? And I would say, well, fuck, I want to fucking kill my boss. There's this prick at my work. She goes, stop. She goes, you're not listening to me. You haven't listened to me in 5 fucking years. I go, how do you know that just from 2 sentences? She goes, Jimmy, sit down. Jimmy, I'm 47 years old. I'm postmenopausal. I'm a mother of 2. You're not going to hide anything from me, Jimmy. You probably sucked a dick when you were 11. It's okay. And I'm like, how the fuck did she pinpointed the age and everything? And then she goes, he was probably a teenager. He probably was flipping out with puberty. He didn't know what the fuck to do with that cock. He has a brand new cock. You're 11. Your mouth is just right there. He's 15. You guys are alone. And he said something on the lines of, suck my cock and I'll fucking buy you I'll buy you those Oakley grips you want on that BMX bike. And you ran scared, Jimmy, didn't you? You ran. But everybody else in the neighborhood had Oakley fucking grips on that BMX, Jimmy. Except for you. And you're looking down at them shitty old hand grips. Stock hand grips. Ha ha ha! Stock hand grips on a Royce Union. Ha ha ha! And then you look down over a fucking old fucking boy's house and he's sitting on his fucking Schwinn. Because he makes money. He's a teenager. He's got a paper route. He can buy shit. And you're looking at all them Oakley grips, and this motherfucker got a new 3-piece crank for his fucking shit. You're looking at over, and boys over there, he's over there just sitting on his Schwinn with the mag wheels and all the brand new shit on his BMX. He don't even like BMX bikes. He's just sitting on it just to make a statement, fashion statement for the neighborhood. Nobody likes him. Everybody thinks he's weird because he likes getting his dick sucked by little boys, and he's 15, and you're like, man. And then that day comes. You go to school the next morning, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is that? What the fuck? There's a brand new set, unopened package, blue. Oakley. This is 1980. This is 1980. 80. You're 11, and you're a bike freak. You wish you had a motorcycle, or a dirt bike, or a chopper, or a crotch rocket, but you'll settle for a little fucking piece of shit BMX that your mom got you at Gemco for fucking $76 goddamn dollars. And everybody else is riding factory Robinson, Mongoose, DG, fucking aluminum welded, fucking all the factory racing factory BMX bikes. But and you're looking at this shit, and you're just about ready to rip that fucker open and put it, you're willing to ditch school, take a beating from your mother, to rip that shit open, see what it looks like on your bike, and be late miss the bus, and explain to your mom when she gets home at the end of the day, what, you didn't go to school, did you? Because moms know. They just see all the signs. Oh, yeah. And just take the beating, because my mother was very violent. And I'm about ready to rip that shit open, put it on my bike, and just as I'm just about ready to rip that package open, a brand new blue Oakley, sticky Oakley fucking grips that you see in BMX World, BMX Magazine, BMX Plus. And you have a pair in your hands right now, and just before you rip it open, you hear this weird sound. You hear a skid out on the street. And there's old boy. And he's looking right at you, grinning, going, you know what it's going to cost, right? And I'm like, fuck it. I said, you know what? I went back and I said, give me a minute. And I can hear everybody's talking. I don't hear a single word they say. Okay, Midnight Cowboy. And I went in the mirror, in the bathroom, and looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm 11 years old, and I said, you know what, cowboy? And I got them grips in my hand, and I'm thinking about, I can't wait to see what they look like on my fucking Royce Union BMX piece of shit from Gemco, $76 retail, when motherfuckers are out there riding $400 fucking Robinsons, $200 Mongoose, you motherfuckers. Let me at least live a little. All right, cowboy. Sometimes a cowboy's got to do what a cowboy's got to do. And like John Voight, you show up like this. Everybody's talking. I don't hear a single word. And just, yeah. But I got them grips, motherfucker.